Curtis Anderson, if you're out there, let's bang, baby. You're not going in there to brawl, right? It's a technical fight, and I'm looking to break you down piece by piece. I love the cage fighting, bro. Like, I love that gritty, mean, foot stomping shit against the cage, you know what I mean? That's where I feel I separate myself from a lot of fighters, is I love the cage. Growing up a little rougher, I think, kind of groomed me for that, right? So I'm not really intimidated of a lot these days, and I was definitely a little shithead growing up. So coming from where I did, I've come a long way. This Superman double leg, yeah, I've done it in a couple fights now, so I think that's going to be my trademark move there. It's pretty hard to turn down a title fight in your hometown. Oh, here we go, the old rivalry coming back, eh? Everyone from Kelowna thinks Vernon sucks, and everyone from Vernon thinks Kelowna sucks. Hey guys, this is Jesse Opper, aka your mom's favorite MMA fighter. Come check me out at OFC 2. I'll be fighting Curtis Anderson June 14th. And if you can't show up in person, come check it out on Valiente.
This episode of the Valiente Fight podcast is proudly brought to you by our official title sponsor, Superbees Auto Detailing. Super shine, super clean, only at Superbees. Awesome. Well, Jesse Opper, welcome to the pod. How are you, man?
Good, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. I'm glad that we can match our times and that you are here in the Okanagan.
Yes, yeah. Down here for a few days, trying to get some training in, visiting family. So, yeah, it's been a good trip so far. Heading back to Nova Scotia here and on the 22nd. So.
Awesome. Well, happy to have you here. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Let's start a little bit about when you were a kid. I know that you were born and raised in the Okanagan.
Yeah.
Was it in Kelowna, Vernon?
I grew up mainly in Vernon. I was like one of those little ghetto hood kids, I guess, growing up. And yeah, Vernon is quite the interesting place to grow up. It was good. There's lots to do, but definitely.
Tell me a little bit about that. Why interesting? I'm from Mexico. Mm-hmm. I grew up in Mexico, and there's different lifestyles around Mexico. Mm-hmm. Definitely, there's like what I call it the more greasy side of the city, but also you have all these fancy neighborhoods. It's a huge contract in Mexico, like economy. You can have like we actually have one of the richest men on earth living in Mexico, from Mexico, but also poor part of Mexico. The majority of the population is like that. So tell me, how was your life in Vernon as a kid?
It was a little rough. I got like kicked out of school. I got kicked out of the open door, and just kind of got into a lot of trouble growing up. And I was definitely a little shithead growing up. So coming from where I did, I've come a long way.
That's good, man. And why you think you were like a trouble kid?
That's a whole can of worms for the therapist there, yeah, it was just the environment, I guess. Like, I don't know, the Okanagan's weird. Like, you have like the nice weather, so it brings like the homeless people, and it just kind of like brings in a different kind of like crowd. So I don't know, the Okanagan's a weird place. Like, after living even on Cape Breton Island for a while, like, just the people are different, the mentality is different. Like, I know as soon as like you hear people swearing and honking at you, it's like, oh, I'm back in the Okanagan, man. Like, every time I come here. But
would you say that is rough living in the Okanagan, or depending on?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. It just kind of depends which crowd you're hanging around, I guess, what you surround yourself with. But yeah, like I said, like, it's like it's a small city, but it's still got that big city mentality. So like obviously with the bigger cities comes the crime, and then the whole ego mentality, trying to be a tough gangster and stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, like.
What would you say? Because you told me that you live in Kelowna too, or here and there, right? Like between Vernon and Kelowna. Since you have that experience, what is the difference between Vernon and Kelowna?
Mentality. Everyone from Kelowna thinks Vernon sucks, and everyone from Vernon thinks Kelowna sucks. But
yeah,
that's the only difference, man.
I have heard that since I moved here, and why you think there is that rivalry or like that?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe because Kelowna seems to get all the government funding, and they constantly are building and expanding, and Vernon just stays the same. And then for the Vernon people, it's just kind of like, I don't know, maybe that bougie mentality, kind of like I was saying earlier, like it's like that bigger city, a little bit more crime and homelessness. So I don't know, there's probably lots of arguments that both cities could say back and forth to each other. How did that shape your life as a kid and growing up? Yeah, it gave me a strong mentality. I definitely don't regret it because it opened me up to the world, right? Like the world's not such a beautiful place all the time, but it is what you make of it. So definitely what you surround yourself with and how you mentally think through difficult situations. Like I'm not shy from being in hard situations or making hard decisions. So just growing up a little rougher, I think kind of groomed me for that, right? So I'm not really intimidated of a lot these days, other than maybe getting into a street fight or something. That's one thing that really scares me in my older age, because there's no referee there or anything anymore. Then
there's no rules
all the
there.
Weapons and stuff like that. So yeah, just coming up with like a different mentality and seeing the world for what it is was really beneficial for me, I think.
100%, I agree. I have the opportunity as well to, I'm a very optimist person, as you will see during this conversation, but I have to face some challenges as well in my life, and I have to learn from tough experience since I was a kid, how to overcome those challenges in life.
Yeah.
So I think having a thicker skin, it definitely gives you a toolkit to face real life challenges.
Yeah, well said.
What would you say about that?
No, that was well said. That totally makes sense. Like if you're equipped to deal with hard situations because you've dealt with harder ones in the past or whatever, then it definitely makes you calloused and makes it easier to go forward, I guess. Totally.
And tell me, what got you into martial arts, and how old were you?
My big brother got me into martial arts when I was like 26. Like I grew up in Vernon, so I grew up like fighting and stuff like that, but I really didn't know what I was getting myself into until you start training, and then you find out what like actual fighting is. But my brother got me into it.
Was he the one who was 26, or?
I was 26, yeah, 26. So he's 4 years older than me.
Oh, okay.
And he had trained for like 8 months before I got into it, because we lived together. We were roommates at the time, so he'd come home, and obviously being the big brother, just always beating me up and putting me in my place. So I had to.
Your coach before official training.
You could call it a coach, or you could call it a Gestapo. I don't know, either or. Take your pick, I guess. But
definitely.
Yeah. So I started, training jiu-jitsu, gi jiu-jitsu. I trained gi jiu-jitsu right up until purple belt. And then my brother and I always trained together and stuff like that. So it's super, I excelled quicker, obviously, because, you know, we're always messing around and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I got into it. And I didn't really start MMA until I got out on the East Coast. With Fight League Atlantic, they kind of gave me an opportunity to fight Levi Nickerson. And, you know, I'd only been training MMA for a few months, like with the striking and stuff like that. I've done lots of Muay Thai here in Kelowna with Adolfo at Pacific Top Team.
Great guy, yeah.
Yeah, oh, he's a G. He's a G. I love that guy. So, like, I did have a little experience, but I went in there and I was, like, looking to brawl. You know what I mean? I wasn't looking to actually, like, technically fight. I was going out there to knock him out like I'm some tough guy, but I ended up getting guillotined and losing that fight. So it really, like, opened up my eyes and made me realize that, like, you got to put in the hard work, and you're not going in there to brawl, right? It's a technical fight, and I'm looking to break you down piece by piece rather than just go for the KO win kind of thing.
What was your first gym that you joined? Was it in Vernon?
No, actually, it's here in Kelowna. I was at Pacific Top Team with Jordan Reichenbach, and I trained there for 3 or 4 years, and it was just mainly gi jiu-jitsu. That's all I did. I didn't really like the no-gi. I have strong hand grips. Like, I'm a construction worker, so I relied heavy on, like, lapel grips and, like, sleeve grips and stuff like that. So when I went to the transition to the no-gi, it was actually really, really, really difficult for me. And then, like, I met my fiance, Sarah Wilson. She trained at RDC Jiu-Jitsu. They're called New Level Grappling now. And low-key, like, RDC and Pacific Top Team had, like, a little bit of a, you know, like, rivalry. So, like, I was dating somebody from their club and training at Pacific Top Team, and then eventually I just kind of transferred over to what's new now, New Level Grappling, and trained with her, because, I mean, it's kind of hard to share jiu-jitsu with your partner and not actually train at the same gym there.
Yeah, it just make it easier, right? We know Ryder Canner.
Yeah, the kid's a beast.
Yeah, I have another friend. His name is Abraham Rosales. He was born and raised here in Kelowna, but his family is from, I can't remember where is their family from, but he speaks fluent Spanish. I don't know if you know him.
No, like, I haven't trained there for a few years now, so it's kind of, there's a lot of new faces when I go back.
Oh, that's great, man. Tell me about OFC 1. You fight in their first edition. Yeah. They are putting a second edition this year. But let's go first to your fight with Robert McConnell. How was it?
Yeah, it was good. Like, man, that was a weird fight camp leading up to that, because I'd fought a month earlier in in Moncton, New Brunswick. And, like, I obviously didn't tell anybody this, but, like, I had this huge hematoma on the top of my foot after fighting Chris, and, like, I wasn't able to walk for, like, a week. My foot was just, like, so bruised and swollen. So, like, that was, like, the first 2 weeks of my, I had the fight with Chris, and I was supposed to fight Robert a month later. So, I just basically spent my fight camp, like, recovering, and then just focusing on cardio and not really learning any new skills, and just focusing on cardio leading up to that fight. And it was a great experience, man. Like, I was fighting in my hometown, Vernon. I had so many friends and family. Like, I had people in the crowd that had no idea I was even fighting, or that I was a fighter, and that I'd known from, like, in the past. So the crowd was electric. Like, it was deafening when people were screaming my name, and it's like, it was a cool experience, man.
How does it feel? How does it feel, that experience?
Felt great. It was good, man. Like, I mean, I'm happy that I got the win with the rear naked choke, you know what I mean? Get to showcase awesome. Jiu-jitsu, and obviously, like, so Lang Roofing, they sponsored me for that fight. They flew me from Nova Scotia to Vernon, paid for my flights and everything like that. So We had a bunch of the Lang roofing employees that I used to work with all in the building, and like a bunch of drunk roofers, man, you know, like it was it was crazy.
That was an experience. Yeah,
it's hype.
The crowd was with you that night, man. Mm-hmm. And have you seen that clip that we post with the super double?
The Superman double leg, yeah. Dude, I just honestly, like, one day in class, I was like, well, I actually, for jiu-jitsu, like, one of the things I'll do like a flying guillotine, just as like a psych out, and then I'll shoot into a double leg. So one day I'm like, I'm just gonna incorporate a punch into it, man. And then I've done it in a couple fights now, so I think that's gonna be my trademark move there. The old Opper Whopper, bud.
Yeah, it got a lot of attention on social media. That was great. How many fights did you have on last year?
I had, well, it was, I say 4 because like I had a fight on like November 16th or something, and then the following year I fought on like November 7th. So it was like just over like a year, like by a week or two. So I pretty much had 4 fights last year. And so I was super active. I was in fight camp like the whole year. I really like progressed like mentally, physically, and like all around just a better martial artist. And like I lost my first 2 MMA fights. I don't know if you know that. Well, obviously you probably know that, but like I lost my first 2 MMA fights because I was like not really putting in the hard work and like dedication, you know what I mean? Like I was still like I said, man, I was a bit of a hood kid. So like I was like, I didn't even quit smoking cigarettes until last year, until those fights, you know what I mean? Like I was like vaping, I was just doing all sorts of stupid shit, man. And just like I was training every day, but just like those small little adjustments, I feel like made a big difference. Like I started running in the morning, I started doing extra work. If I had time on my work, I'd fucking shadow box on fucking scaffolding or on the roof, like, you know what I mean? Just 15 minutes here and 15 minutes there every day adds up to an extra couple hours every week. So
those small but significant things definitely make the difference.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what made the difference for me, for sure.
So after those 2 fight losses, did you start getting more into discipline and focus on MMA for your next fights? Did that change your mindset?
Yes, I guess, because you know what, I didn't wrestle. I didn't try to take my opponents down. I just stood up and tried to brawl, and the adrenaline dumps kept getting me. I'd get an adrenaline dump after the second round. I'd sit down, and then I was tired, and then I was like mentally just broken. You know what I mean? So, I think like just really pushing myself, like and cardio wise, just made a bit of a difference for the follow-up fights.
That's great. Is it motivating to come back to Vernon and put a fight again during the summer? Yeah.
Against Curtis Anderson. Curtis Anderson, if you're out there, you know, let's bang, baby. Just kidding.
No, he was here. He was here too. We had a podcast with him during the holidays. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he's definitely putting the work as well, and he's super excited. It's a main fight for a title bantamweight. Tell us a little bit how you feel, and are you looking forward for that fight?
Definitely. It's pretty hard to turn down a title fight in your hometown. So, it's going to be fun. I think he's from Calgary or something.
No, he's born and raised in Kelowna.
Yeah.
So what Raj, I'll give you a secret. What Raj and Alicia are putting together is to give you guys the opportunity to face Kelowna Vernon.
Here we go. The old rivalry coming back, eh?
Yeah. He definitely will bring all his friends and crowd from Kelowna to Vernon and support him. So it's gonna be a nice battle.
That's awesome.
What are your
Vernon versus Kelowna, baby. Let's go.
Tell me, what other sports techniques do you like to do, or have you experienced besides your martial art trainings? Like, do you practice meditation? Have you ever done? Do you like practicing visualization or manifestation about your coming fight?
Totally, yes. I think that we all run like on a certain vibration and frequency, you know what I mean? And like law of attraction is, in my opinion, 100% real. And constantly I'll visualize leading up to fights and like really visualize not only myself winning, but the feeling of winning. I visualize myself putting in those long nights. I visualize myself working out later after everyone leaves the gym, after they're done. You know, I just visualize a bunch of different small things other than just winning and me getting that belt put around my waist. It's like I visualize myself actually putting in the hard work before I do it, and I find that helps me.
Yeah, no, that I believe in that as well. And also what I've been listening from other fighters is that they really like to put themselves in those visualizations in a tricky situations, like not just when they hit or accomplish their goals, but also what the other opponents will do against them and how they will beat them.
Putting yourself in a bad position, kind of thing, and working out of it. Yeah, for sure. That's smart.
Do you think that helps?
Definitely. Like, I mean, like when I'm training, like striking, I think that everybody can throw a proper punch and, you know, like knock somebody out. I like to focus a lot on defense. And like, yeah, same thing. Like I'll put myself in like bad positions, like pinned up against the cage and work out of there, you know, out of submissions. I'm a big fan of like working out of stuff rather than working into it. Obviously I like to work it all, but yeah, I feel like taking those extra steps is a smart choice, because even I noticed that like when a lot of people get stunned or they get dinged, you know what I mean, they just stand with their feet planted instead of like circling out. That's a huge detail that a lot of people miss, right? And I've seen lots of amateur fighters get knocked out because of that, just putting their hands up, shelling up, and not really having a game plan for when their game plan doesn't work.
Yeah.
So,
that's good to hear, man. Tell me if you have seen Curtis Anderson fights or videos. Do you like studying your opponent?
No, I never have. Like, I got a buddy back home, Justin, who loves to like research guys and do that kind of work for me. We don't really have a coach back home, so to speak. We're just like a bunch of like-minded people who want to be competitive and want to get better. So we don't have a coach. Like I teach MMA on Wednesdays, and we each kind of have the OGs of the school kind of each have their own day, and we train 7 days a week. We train all no-gi. We have a group chat, obviously, like many other gyms, that we just dial in and just be like, who's training today? And typically for like a small gym, like, yeah, we're committed, man. We train every single day. And I'm not much into looking up footage. Like my thought process is like, I'm just going to implement my game plan, right? Whatever that looks like. And say, for instance, if my game plan wasn't working out, you know, there's always circling around and jabbing until I can implement my game plan. But generally, no, I've never been a film watcher. I just go out there and do my thing.
Do your best and be prepared for everything.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you'll prepare for one thing, and then that thing doesn't even happen in the fight, right? So.
Oh, that's true. And being a more, I don't know if, correct me if I'm wrong, but being more, with more experience in Jiu-Jitsu, where do you see or where do you feel more comfortable in the cage?
Yeah, obviously on the ground, but I love the cage fighting, bro. Like, I love that gritty, mean, foot stomping shit against the cage, you know what I mean? That's where I feel I separate myself from a lot of fighters, is I love the cage. It's my friend.
What goes into your mind when you are fighting?
Honestly, keep my hands, all I think is breathe, keep your hands up, and you're gonna do your best.
Are you able to be aware about your environment, or does that disappears and it's just you and your opponent?
It's yes and no. Like, for myself, like I've done so many jiu-jitsu competitions that like what you're talking about just kind of goes away, and yeah, you're like completely aware of your surroundings and stuff like that. But with the MMA, I haven't seemed to dial in quite like that. Like, I'm definitely aware, and I can usually hear my fiance screaming from the crowd. But yeah, generally I've been finding it hard to hear my corner. So yeah, a little bit more, you know, like dialed in for the MMA than the jiu-jitsu.
Nice. Yeah. I think I will be like that too, like more in my own body.
Yeah.
So, well, myself will be in survival mode.
Somebody's trying to like punch you in the face. It's a whole different story, right? Like,
tell me the difference of OFC compared to other promotions.
So Fight League Atlantic is who has believed in me, honestly, from the beginning, and like given me all the opportunity I could ever ask for. But the difference between those two, well, OFC's, you know, they've only done one event. I'm sure Raj has had fights in the past, but like, yeah, the difference, I guess, would just be the environment. I guess it's just a little bit different for Fight League Atlantic, but it just seems a little more competitive out there for me, just because it seems like in Nova Scotia the fight scene's kind of new, so now everybody's kind of around the same skill level. Like, I thought I was gonna go out to the East Coast and just like kind of kick everybody's ass in jiu-jitsu, but I got humbled pretty quick and realized that there's a lot of talent out there. But it seems like everyone's around kind of the same talent level, right? There's no like guys that have been doing it for crazy amounts of years and stuff like that. So like, it seems like a neck and neck battle at like whose gym's gonna kind of progress, and you're starting to see like superstars rise up from different areas. So it's a really like interesting time for martial arts that I'm witnessing. So that's like cool to be a part of that and kind of pave the way and be like one of the first people who compete and fight in Nova Scotia and for FLA. So it's kind of like a little nostalgic for me in that sense. But yeah, the OFC, they throw on a great event too. Like, they had people masseuses in the back. FLA didn't have that. FLA, maybe you should get some masseuses, because it was great. I got a nice rub down before my fight. It was like loosened up and stuff. So I like that about the production.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was the first edition from OFC, and from what we can see is that a lot of things are happening in the Okanagan. So it's just the first years, like more gyms are putting promotions and events together.
Yeah.
And I feel like that will or definitely I can see that is benefiting a lot of people, not just the athlete, the gym owners, us that we came from to support as a media. So I hope that this gets more momentum and everything grows, right?
Yeah.
Like more talent, media, more audience coming to the events.
Yeah, because that's what the Okanagan needs, man. Like, the more events that go on, the more experience you get. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's lots of Rory McDonalds out in the Okanagan. There's just such a talent pool here. But the only thing is, man, if you can only fight once every like year or two, like you're not going to progress the same as guys who are fighting 3-4 times a year, even twice a year. You know, just staying active, staying fighting, having like a goal and an end game in mind. I find that keeps me in check too. It's like, oh, okay, I'm fighting in a few months, like no days off, motherfucker. Let's go. So,
yeah, definitely. It makes a difference.
Yeah, it's good. I'm happy. There's 2 promotions, the OFC, the VIP. So I mean, I think that like just the same, and you're gonna start seeing superstars rise up, and you're gonna start seeing people from the Okanagan go to the UFC.
Yeah, and Raj and Alicia has been mentioning that there will be 2-3 events per year in the next coming years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, hopefully that happen and all the parts have a good response on this. And definitely, like OFC 1 had a very good entry, like people show up. So
yeah, it was sick.
Good comments. Is going pro part of your plan?
Yeah, maybe one day. I don't see myself as a professional fighter, and not to like downplay like who I am or anything like that. It just seems like unreal that I've achieved that, something like that. But I think one day, like, might as well, like, if I'm gonna do this, I might as well get paid for it if I'm gonna like damage my body and get hurt. So yeah, after I win this title, I definitely am gonna be looking to go pro if I'm gonna fight in the future. And I've been liking the MMA kind of more than the jiu-jitsu. Like, it's just kind of feels a little bit more practical in real life, and you know, just even sport jiu-jitsu is kind of making me think like, oh, those leg locks are gay. Like, I'd be able to punch you 10 times in the face before you got that off, kind of thing, right? So it's just kind of changing my view that way. So I think I'm gonna stick with the MMA for a bit, see where it takes me.
That's awesome. Yeah, and like I said when we were coming here, I can see that the industry here in Canada, it's going really fast. There's more promotions, and also like it's been more people in the industry as a media is getting more professional, and like social media, it's a big part of that. So
totally.
Yeah, I can definitely see that it could be good opportunity for everyone to make it professional and make a business out of it, right? What are your or do you have any fight in the future that you would like to have, or a fighter from Canada that you see, oh, I want to be in the cage with this guy?
You would think that I would, but nah, man, just my mindset is just put somebody in front of me.
And
plain and simple, just put somebody in front of me and let's go.
That's awesome, man. Well, I think that's pretty much it, bro. Thank you very much for having the time to come and chat. We're very looking forward for OFC 2 and invite all the friends and go and support to the next event. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, man. It was great. I see big things coming from you guys, so I appreciate you having me on the show. No, thank you, man. And hopefully we can have you in another one before the event. But it was a great chat, and yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, this isn't the last you've seen me. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Cool, man.
Sweet. Okay, God.
This episode of the Valiente Fight podcast It's proudly brought to you by our official title sponsor, Superbees Auto Detailing. Super shine, super clean, only at Superbees.